Greetings and salutations, nerds, geeks, fans of D&D, friends, and mostly family. Welcome to another Ramshackle production, a stream that promises if you stick with us for an episode, you'll politely chuckle at least once. If you like what you see, don't forget to click the follow button, and if you really like what you see, or you've got an extra Twitch Prime account, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It is September, so all subscriptions are half off, only $2.49 right now.
September.
September. And so that's we got that going on. We are a group of friends from various walks of life that play Dungeons and Dragons together. We have a live action campaign, not live action, excuse me. We play together in real life. We're not LARPers. That's not really
Yet.
hard. Yeah.
We could do that.
That's what Aaron's looking at off screen right now as he's sewing up a leather jerkin for me to wear at the first event. Nonetheless, we play various games together. On Wednesdays we do a Star Wars stream. We try to do every Wednesday, but it's every 2 weeks or so typically is what we fall into. And our in-person campaign is currently on hiatus. Hopefully starting back up in the next few weeks. Nudge, 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 Lee. We're playing 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, set in a custom brewed campaign world that we've put together. We have incorporated some elements from Wizards of the Coast, starting in the Ghosts of Saltmarsh arc. We are not affiliated with Wizards of the Coast in any way, shape, or form. Where we are, this is episode 6. So the party had set off from Saltmarsh and encountered the haunted house that they were asked to investigate by Monastrad Steelbreaker. They've made their way through the house, clearing out the cellar, the first floor, made their way to the second floor, or the ground floor and first floor if you're from a non-American country. I want to make sure that I'm being culturally sensitive here. They made their way to the second floor and looked into the attic and saw a swarm of sturges. And so at this point we have Valkorian being held aloft by Bones the Turtle as his eyes and just his nose are looking into the attic with this swarm of sturges hovering around. The rest of the party's arrayed on the platform beneath, and that's where we're going to kick it off this week. So let's go. Valkorian, kick us off. First roll of the night. Give us a stealth check for the look into the attic.
Got me a solid 10. It's a little bit wobbly what I'm standing on.
All right.
Quit wiggling around.
So solid 10, got that. So you, as you're sitting there, looking up into it, you notice that the sturges that you can initially see, they're starting to come out of the woodwork, and they're kind of hovering around, and they're not really looking in your direction per se quite yet, but you can definitely see more sturges starting to come out of the nests and begin to float around the roof, the attic. Excuse me. You're currently positioned here.
Not being the first time I've mounted Mr. Bones before, standing up on his shoulder blades, the front part of his shell, are any of the spines and castration range if I were to just jump backwards?
Any of the spines in castration, the spines of
his shell.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You might get a nice shave if you do that, but I think you'll be okay. You've slid down the back of Bones more than once.
Oh yeah,
there was butter involved last time, but that's a different story altogether.
Not our first rodeo.
No, not at all.
Okay, so what are your actions, players? What are we doing here?
I'm going to start very slowly crouching down, and whenever I feel like I've broken eye contact with the buggies, use an acrobatic dismount for Mr. Bones, trying to land as quietly as possible so we could extradite ourselves from the current premises.
Okay, so I'm going to need an athletics check and a new stealth check since you're doing an activity between stealthing. Yeah, absolutely.
So new stealth is a 23.
Okay.
And trying to be quiet and dismounting, could I make a case for it being acrobatics?
Sure, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
For those that are tuned in, Strider and Lemony, is the background music, are you catching it at all, or is it too low? Is that a flat 2?
So that's a 6 on the dismount,
Okay.
a 23 on the stealth check.
Okay, so here's what happens. You begin to you lower yourself and you go by. It's too low, not at all. Okay, copy that. Turn that up. So you start to lower yourself like you're going to do your backflip off of him, and as you do your backflip, your foot kind of gets caught because it's a low clearance in the ceiling. It kind of gets caught in the shell as you're trying to avoid hitting his shell and the ceiling. And what you end up doing is kind of just turning in the air, but when you hit the ground, it's like a fart in the wind. So it's one of the ugliest dismounts that any of the arrayed individuals has seen before, but it was quiet as a fart. So
Fair. I don't know who you live with, but we'll go with quiet. Okay.
and
Definitely
lot of milk allergies in my house. We'll just leave it there.
Maris goes, that was like a soft breeze in the wind, I hear. We should extricate, like, now.
Certainly. Would you, Tritons, you guys ever come across the Sturgis before? They're quite awful, and they're starting to pour out of the woodwork up there. I suggest, having cleared the vast majority of this building, we make our way out of here.
And so with that, Nimbus says, I am quite aware of what the Sturgis... My French sounds like an Italian.
Hey, it's all the Alps, man. You're fine.
I'm quite aware of what the Sturgis can do, and we should leave immediately. I do not want them sucking onto me like escargot.
I like them sucking on me.
And all of a sudden, Warren's Australian.
Right.
So with that, Maris and Nimbus start making their way backpedaling towards the stairs, away from the stairs to the attic. Down into
And
the
just
first
to
floor.
refresh, there weren't any like collections of items that were up there or anything crazy. It just seemed like there were rafters. There's open areas in the ceiling that are letting daylight in, but no like collection of valuables or anything like that. Correct?
What
I
you
can't remember from.
Yeah, so what you saw was a pile of like clothing and debris in a corner.
That's right.
Kind of cobweb covered, like stuff that's sat in an attic, exposed to the elements for a long time, so it's kind of rotted and discolored. Didn't really look. You would not have appraised that as of value. No shiny bits from what you saw.
Fair enough.
No pants.
Gentlemen, I think our criteria for this mission, short stuff, what would you say? Have we done what we needed to here?
I think we've done everything except. Oh, you talking to Warren?
Oh, you're pretty short, I guess.
I think we're both kind of short.
Well, there's 3 rooms left. Let's just poke our heads in and then head out. You've seen the ceiling. We can explain to Monastrad what's in it.
Yeah, let's not forget the guy in the basement either. I think he's been strapped down there for a while.
Yeah, he was endeavoring to expatriate himself from the downstairs regions. We can expatriate his head if you guys have a mind to, but I think there may be some value in taking him back to town.
And hopefully he hasn't drank all the whiskey.
Yeah, fair enough. I got quite a thirst myself.
And so with that, the party makes their way back into the cellar through the previously trapped Magic Mouth entrance in the front area, down into the sleeping quarter area with the beds and footlockers kind of strewn about, piled up against the door, and then you moved them away so you could have access to the door again, and you make your way over into the outside area, the cave area, and sure enough, the gentleman is still tied to the barrel, definitely looking just drained. He's not comfortable with the position he was tied in. He still, was hurting pretty bad. No one ever healed his injuries, so he's not really looking too good, but definitely alive.
So I'll walk over to him, lift him up, and say, I'm afraid, sir, we've done you wrong. Those connective tissues in the shoulder, that's probably hurting a great deal being tied like that. And then open hand slap him really hard in the face and say, you're probably not thinking about them shoulders now, are you?
Man, y'all gonna take me to the jail?
Your body is a jail of sorts. All kinds of torments busted up in there.
It's a lot of fancy words.
I'm not really looking to get into an existential crisis conversation right now. I'd much rather just be incarcerated by the local authorities, put in front of the magistrate, and be arraigned.
Yeah, they're all using fancy words. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Certainly. Are there with a seaborne route? Get us back to town quicker.
Well, it seems to me that we'd be more likely to be able to carry all of the shit in the boat, assuming it's still there. If we want to take these barrels and the...
Aye. So, might I make a proposition? In my time on the Dirty Rose, we made quite a few landfalls, and I'm quite adept at piloting a ship. So maybe we do that and not have to worry about running into any miscreants as we make our way back.
Water's just like rock, but softer. I'm down for that.
Yeah, let's check this boat out.
So I'd like to make a check on the boat. Really listening to Mr. Bones. Mr. Bones, you know the health of a seagoing vessel by the smell of it. What are you gauging on this wood?
Well, let me give it a good whiff.
All right. So we'll give you a wood sniff assist by Bones. Bones, just so you know, your camera is currently locked up. You've been stuck in the same position for a while. And
Okay.
I thought he was being dramatic.
I thought he was playing
No.
the mannequin game, and he's done a really good job of it. But while he's resolving that, Valkorian, roll me a proficient vehicles water check at advantage, please.
And would that be based upon dexterity?
Let's call it an intelligence. An
Okay.
intelligence check. Yep. Plus, so proficiency bonus as well. So +3 to whatever you roll here for vehicles water.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I
at
think
advantage
I'm.
against Bones.
Sorry about that. I think I'm gonna have to restart. It just, as soon as we started the stream, it just went black. So
No worries, man.
it hasn't changed. I'm gonna just start real quick. I'll be right back.
Well, that's a 24, giving her a good once over.
Yep. You have that at advantage if you want to roll again, just to see if you hit 19 or 20. 24 is pretty good, but.
It's a 24, like I said.
He sticks. This boat, it's a fairly well-crafted rowboat. It can seat, I think it can seat 8 is what I believe is what it is. It's a small boat, perhaps large enough for 8 people. It has oars, a step-down mast, and a neatly furled sail. And a rope tied to the bow is holding down. It's tied to a large boulder, which is holding it in place as the water, laps up from the sea. As you do look out into the sea, you see that it's slightly cloudy out there over the sea, and there is a light mist. It's a little. You can feel a warm breeze. High 70s coming in off the shore there. A nice day for sailing, actually. It seems like.
Feels like it's sunny with a high of 75 out here.
Mr. Bones, you being the ranking officer here, as I sees it, this is your jetty, sir. I will make ready and prepare to disembark.
Well, who's playing him while he's gone? He'll be back. That sounds good. And then I'm gonna be picking up the barrels and bringing them to the boat, assuming they're gonna fit.
With your crew.
Maybe the Tritons could help you with your labors.
Yep. Maris and Nibis say, we will handle this problem. They start to carry the bolts of Maris already had the bolts of silk on his pack, so he puts his pack in the boat, and they start ferrying the barrels of brandy from the various locations in the cavern, the 2 spots in the cavern, onto the boat. With your 5 plus the trustled up prisoner in the boat, there's plenty of room for the barrels and all of your gear and cargo. and you can shove off if you'd like. Takes about 45 minutes or so to get everything ready to sail. So you're coming up on around lunchtime, high noon.
Mr. Warren did have an interesting point as we were extraditing ourselves from upstairs. Those other rooms, did you boys get a chance to look in there and tell me what's up there?
Uh, I saw some doors, and those, you know how I feel about doors.
I,
I was-
untouched by your Lord's grace.
I think we'd probably go up there and check I think I would go up and check those out because we promised to check the whole house out. So I'm gonna, I'm pushing for that. Or
Okay.
Where's
So do you
Devin?
want to start? Do you want to start on the ground floor?
yeah. Well, we checked out all the rooms on the ground floor, right? It's the second floor. There's 3 rooms left that we didn't check.
There were some rooms not checked on the second floor. You also have the as you've been made aware, the skeletal area off to the behind the barred door as well.
Golden skeletons.
Are you bypassing that and then going to the second floor? Is that what I'm understanding?
Lads, I'm gonna propose that we just check everything out like we said we did, and not necessarily mess with what I assume are golden skeletons. Not.
Well, I have no appetite for us to be caught up with whatever's behind that closed door. The rest of the house, I think's free purview. Just stay the fuck out of the attic.
I do love free pervy.
Someone say
Lots of the
golden
purview.
skeletons.
So I guess I'll check that first. Oh wait, do I have control? I do.
You do have control of your character, yes.
I'll run down here. I'll run down here. Just poke this door open. Obviously jumping over the little wet spot there. But I'm just gonna open it gently because I'm tired. We've been doing this shit for a while.
Yep. So you're going to open. Just want to make sure that I've got the right.
And I
door.
bring the fishmen with me. I grab them
fish-
both.
Okay.
I interlace fingers with both of them and bring them with me.
You
Describe
skip over there.
describe for me how you are opening the door.
I'm gonna knock on it and then gingerly open it and say,
What?
"What the fuck is going on in here?"
So full Kool-Aid man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the Kool-Aid man through the door. No worries.
Oh, fuck my ass.
Yep.
Oh, there's a guy.
Well, he looks tied up or something.
And as you enter the room, what you notice as you burst open the door, that in a moment's notice that it was locked, but that doesn't matter because you burst the door open quite easily because it's with the golden guns of Warren.
Right.
Right. In the southeast corner of this decayed bedroom lies a man. He is alive, though bound and gagged. He is clad only in undergarments and appears to have no weapons or equipment. And as the door bursts open, he begins to, kind of roll onto his side and look at you and.
What are them free pervies?
We made a bondage dungeon downstairs. I didn't know they had one on the second floor. No house needs 2. Does he look like he is a bandit, kind of like the rest of them, or does he? I know he's wearing undergarments, but does he appear clean-ish?
You make an investigation check. Obviously, if you're doing it, are you doing it from that distance, or are you getting closer?
I will get to right. I'll walk through the door and I'll walk to right about here.
Okay. Make me an investigation check then, please.
2. Oh, that's 23. 12. 11. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, he's wearing undergarments. It's really hard to tell. I mean, if you're assessing whether or not he's a bandit, he's gagged and bound. He's wearing undergarments. He has what appears to be some sort of goose egg on his forehead. From this distance, that's about all you can really tell.
He doesn't seem panicked by me being here, though. Right? Or
he's got his hands bound and he's gagged. He's going. And he's trying to wiggle out of his binds, and he's definitely trying to say something, but he's gagged.
All right, I'll walk up to him and take the gag off his mouth.
Okay. And he says, "Right, thank you, mate. Can you untie my hands too?"
Maybe you're gonna tell me what you're doing here, because last I checked, everyone in here was trying to do all kinds of shit.
Yeah, you don't look like the other fellas. My name's Ned. I snuck in here night before last. I was trying to find a place to sleep, and it was dark. I came in, and something just whacked me right over the head, and then I woke up, and my clothes was gone. And I'm in this room, and it's dark, and I see you fella come in, and well, you don't look like the. I mean, you don't look like no criminal type. Yet.
So, are you homeless? Is that what you're telling me? And you just popped in here to sleep?
I was traveling from Seaton, and I was on my way to Saltmarsh. Going from Seaton from the east into Saltmarsh, and I needed a place to stay. And I came off the road. I saw some stuff I didn't want no part of, and I'm looking for a place to stay. And I came here, and I got something whacked me on the head and tied me up.
When was that?
Not. I mean, the sun's been up. It was up when it was going down when I came in, and then I woke up and it was up, and then it went down. I've heard some scuffling about and stuff over the last little bit. Maybe last night it was. I ain't thinking right since I've been knocked on the head.
Well, that could have been anything. I wouldn't worry your head about that. I'm gonna holler for the turtle and the elf to come in and be like,
Oh, we're down in the basement.
you're there with
the
us?
prisoner getting
shit.
everything. So you got the Tritons with you.
Oh, got it. I mean, I'm gonna assume he's telling me the truth probably, and just untie his hands and probably let him go and see if
Well, we could see if not that I'm there, but we could
Yeah.
see if the basement dude knows who he is too. That could verify.
Well, I mean, you're not there. So what it is, if you want to untie his binds on his hands.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and he takes his binds off, and he's kind of stretching his muscles out, rubbing his wrist real good. Man, I really appreciate you getting me out of these binds. My name's Ned Shakeshaft, and he
Okay, I'm gonna grab him by the arm pretty forcefully and be like, "All right, lad, listen to me. You're gonna go into town and you're gonna wait at the Wicker Goat, and you're gonna wait there until you see me again. You understand?"
Well, yeah. What are y'all doing here? I mean, what's going on? Cause y'all seem, and he kind of looks and he's looking around and sees the blood, on your clothes and all the weaponry. I mean, y'all ain't killers, are you?
We're on party business. You don't worry yourself about that. You head into town, you stay at the inn, and we'll see you when I see you.
Did you just say you're on party business?
Absolutely.
Inspiration token.
Well,
Well played.
thank you.
Yes. You would have gotten a level had you made a Jordan reference on his 12th anniversary.
Oh yeah.
Damn. Nonetheless,
I tug on my beard, and I don't seem to understand women's desires.
Yes. Well, that's all well and good, and I'll gladly head back into town. But if y'all check this whole place out, what do you know who knocked me over the head? What am I waking up into?
All right, I'm gonna get a little frustrated at this point because I'm ready to go. So I'll be like, "All right, listen, lad. You'll not ask another question. You'll head into town and you'll shut up." And he'll grab his face and move, start to walk away. I'm tired.
Make an intimidation check. Yep, with a frustration modifier.
Frustration modifier.
That's made up. The second part. Just roll me an intimidation check.
I got you, boo boo.
Oh,
Ooh.
that one was so close.
Damn.
Okay. All right. Well, have y'all seen any clothes lying around?
I see some around your loins, and if you don't get moving, I'm gonna take those from you.
I mean, with that intimidation roll, we'll let it roll.
I just sent a naked man running into town.
Well, all right then. I guess I'll go. All right. Well, see you later. What was your name?
You can call me Alligator. See you later, Alligator. That's actually Warren Forgeworth.
All right, actually, I'll see you back at the Wicker Goat then. Okay, well, bye. And he walks outside.
Immediately gets eaten by those mosquito birds.
And then I guess I'm gonna very carefully open the other 2 doors. Just actually very quietly open them.
Okay, make me a stealth check, and Nimbus and Maris
I'm
will
so good at these.
follow. Actually, Nimbus and Maris. Will you continue to search the house? We will go and secure the prisoner and stay close to the water. And they come downstairs, and Valcorn and Bones. Gentlemen, Mr. Warren needs your help clearing the rest of the house. Let us tend to the prisoner and get the boat ready for the tripper.
Insight check to see if they're
wait.
Russian double agents.
They're just really bad at French accents, is what it is.
Fair.
I wasn't quite prepared to have them doing much talking tonight. My apologies. I'm prepared for many other things that might happen tonight, not to talk like those 2 characters.
Noted.
Well, in that case,
so
I'm gonna
as
stop
they as they come down, I want to look up and say, "Gentlemen, I don't think it's right for us to be capturing prisoners and transporting commerce until I've heard your entire life stories. Please, Nimbus, you first." And I want to hear from the day they were born in their voice, because this is a great time for us to be interacting in
feeling.
character.
Get a real good feeling for them.
And I'll have this copy of War and Peace. Could you read this to me?
So Nimbus begins to, let me regale you of the tale. Maris backhands him, is like, my friend, we have to take the prisoner and secure the goods in the boat. And they begin to get to work on the boat and turn their backs to you. And
Right, okay.
so with that, I'm assuming Bones and Valcorn, you make your way upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just saw a little guy poke his head out on the.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Excited for what's behind this door.
All right. So with that, we will open the door. Let me roll me a stealth check. What would it end up being? If you rolled it.
It was definitely higher than a 6. If that's what you're asking. It was a 6.
Okay. 6 it was. So you open the door to this room, and this is.
All right, it's a room. I'm gonna head next door.
If you give me a second, I'll bring it up.
Oh, mess with it.
Yep. What was once a fine master bedroom now stands decayed. Some of the floorboards are missing, and there is rubbish scattered around. A tall wooden wardrobe stands against the wall opposite the fireplace, its door closed.
Can I go in and check it out?
I'll cover you.
Okay, so you go in. When you say check it out, describe for me what you're doing with the.
I'm just walking over to the wardrobe to see what's inside.
Okay. When you open the wardrobe, roll me just a perception check.
Okay, that's what is that?
You
20?
find Narnia.
Deception, perception plus 0. So what am I? 11.
Yes, you see Professor Xavier in a badly made headpiece and fur pants standing there. And he has a fake English accent, and you know. So there's a pair of old cracked leather boots at the base of the wardrobe, and then hanging on a peg is a ragged and stained cloak. It's got a design of coiling ivy leaves along the sleeves, and just appears to be a moldy piece of cloth.
A check to see if from our comings and goings with any trading companies or people who we've alleviated them of having to carry their stuff around, if I recognize that symbol.
Roll me a d20 intelligence check. Let's add your for as long as you were at sea, both between the Dirty Rose and then your time on the Albandinga. Roll me that at advantage, please.
Okay, here's the first one, an 11. No, an 18.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is a 12. 18 being the highest out of the two.
Yeah, you don't recognize this pattern. The coiling ivy leaves. It could be of any of the nations of Nord. It's a common scroll work pattern.
Right. So kind of like that 80s pastel, marker line that's on like disposable cups.
Yeah, exactly.
That has a name. What is that?
Yeah.
Look it up.
Yeah, it's on every little tiny little mouth rinse cup and water cooler cup in the planet has that design on it. Yeah,
Mouth rinse cup.
they're,
It's
tiny.
got the
MRC.
jazz design.
They're tiny.
Dixie.
So yes, it's a common design, but yeah, it's other than that, it seems pretty old and
Right.
moldy.
I'm gonna check out the fireplace and see if there's any glowing objects in that one either.
I'll be prepared for an attack that's going to happen on him.
Roll me a perception check, please.
You find a demigorgon.
11.
Yeah, there doesn't appear to be any loose bricks. There doesn't appear to be any shiny objects that you can see on like the fireplace in the other room. This fireplace, because it's on the second floor, there's definitely a bunch of rain damage on the inside of the fireplace. You can look up and straight into the ceiling or into the sky, excuse me, and the light mist kind of falls down into your face from the exposed chimney.
I feel refreshed.
Yep. Little spritz bottle.
There's 2 piles of junk in here too, right?
Yes, you see debris in both corners.
I'm gonna check out the far debris.
Yep. We'll use the same perception roll that you made as you just kind of poke around the room. It's just a pile of debris. You can look up and see where there's been some decay has fallen, water damage has pooled down from clearly a hole in the attic into the floor in here, and the floor is just sort of grungy and moldy, and the wood's warped and sunken in.
Got it. I'm gonna go outside to the other door of the room, and I'm gonna point at the door, look at the total, and would you like to do the honors?
Yeah, I'll give this one a go. So,
Sorry, switch me spots, lad.
right here.
Describe your dynamic entry for me.
The dynamic entry. I'm gonna what should I do here? I'm gonna jump against the wall, and then with my shell facing the door, I'm gonna press my legs and shoot back
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's good. Roll me just a general strength check, Devin. Bones. I'd like to see. I'd like to narrate this based upon its success.
Okay, let's see. And my strength is +6, I believe, right? Or what is it? What is my? It's +4. Okay, so that's a 19.
Yeah, so you guys aren't really sure. It looks like he's trying to scale up the wall using his back on the door and his feet on the wall, and he gets about 2 or 3 feet off the ground, about halfway up on the door, and he pushes off the far wall and propels himself through the door. But as he's propelling himself through the door, he kind of tucks in his arms and his hands, and so there's a shell-shaped hole, like an oval portal, through the door into the room beyond. And as you enter the room, Bones, you kind of stumble a few steps, and you end up backpedaling into the bed there. This decrepit, moldy bed.
Sorry.
This decrepit, moldy bed. Oh my goodness! Why can't I choose you?
Oh, go ahead.
Pikachu.
Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. That's why. All right. And when you hit the bed, you hear a tink, 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 tink sound on the far side of the bed. It's as if something is hitting wood and rolling.
Did you say something?
Oh, I'll tell you this much. I hadn't seen him have those kind of moves on a bed since we were sailing through the gym foot.
You still have that butter?
That was a solid 8 months ago.
That's how you open a door.
I'll give you that one.
Rubbish is scattered around what was once a fine guest bedroom. There is evidence of rodent infestation, and webs hang in the corners. A 4-poster bed stands against the wall. Its woodwork is worm-ridden, and the curtains that once screened the bed are torn and stained. There is no bed linen, but the bed is mostly intact. And Valkorin, as you come around that corner, on the ground, right about here, you see something that isn't the same color as the floor. It's sort of a lighter gray color against the wood floor as the sun comes in from the open.
Approximate size?
Hand-sized, palm-sized.
Warren, check them corners for cobwebs. Kick them real hard and kill anything that comes out after you.
I'm gonna
And then I'll walk over to that item.
I'm kicking this wall really hard while he's doing that.
So as you kick the wall, like pieces of debris start to kind of fall down from the ceiling above you. Nothing too large, like small chunks of wood, and the cobwebs start to rip off, and there's nothing outside of some loose debris and detritus flying that you see there.
Yeah,
Without
I'm
corn-
gonna tell him
Go
tell
ahead.
him too that when I came into the room, I heard the ringing noise in the bed. In case that was not the trinket on the ground, but
Right. Check that thing. What is it?
Yep, it is a small trinket in the shape of a seaborne creature that you would recognize as a whale, a large, majestic-looking whale creature. Roll me an investigation check.
Okay. 14.
Yeah, and it's a piece of sea stone. This is a kind of stone that you're familiar with, being at the bottom of the ocean, the bottom of the sea. It's very smooth, and it's been carved into the shape of this whale. And as you kind of turn it over in your hands, on the bottom, written in Aquian, one of the languages that you're proficient in,
Yeah.
you read the name Kish, Kysh.
History or religion check for implications on that.
Yes, roll me a history check. History, religion, whatever you have higher of, it's fine.
Oddly enough, they're exactly the same. That's an 18.
Yeah, the name Kish has no relevance in history or religion that you're aware of. It's a common name in Aquian. It's kind of like John in English. So it's.
So I'll very quickly sleight of hand, undo my breeches enough where I could shove that in, coming out the front, and then walk up to Warren as he's studying the corner and just kind of let it brush against him.
Okay, gonna need a few checks here. Give me a sleight of hand check. Because he's busy dealing with cobwebs and isn't really paying attention to what you're doing, you can do so at advantage. I wish I had a cobweb wishing sound in my sound bar right now.
It's your own fault if you don't. So 17 for my first one, a 13 for the second, so we'll take the 17.
Yep. Yeah, so you walk up behind Warren, and Warren, give me what's your passive perception? 13, I believe is what it is.
My passive perception's worse than that. It is 11.
11. Yeah, you feel what definitely feels like something large and smooth with a rounded end rubbing up against, with his height and your height, the back of your arm, kind of in this area here.
A lot of nerve endings there. Feel it.
I'm gonna slowly, I guess, like put my hand on my axe and like slowly turn around and see what's poking out of his hand. I'll be like, "Lad, your willy looks like Monestrad."
You think I could get any money for this back in town?
Whale of a woman, she'd probably pay for a statue of herself.
Give me a kish. That's right, Lemon. Give me a kish.
Yeah. So I'll just keep it like that.
All right. Okay. So you're carrying that. Just add trinket to your inventory at some point. Small trinket.
Right.
No,
The bear
sorry.
from Critical Role.
Good-sized trinket. It's a decent-sized trinket.
Well,
Yeah,
there's a
but-
lot of sea breeze coming through here, so it wouldn't be life-sized, obviously.
He was in the
stop, Florian.
basement.
Jesus, like, what have you been eating that's twice as big as it normally is?
It's a thing called a ginkgo biloba. I picked one up in town.
Yes,
20 minutes of dick jokes.
The dwarves are known for their ginkgo biloba products. They've started doing
Subscribe
this
to
little.
Ramshackle today.
All right, so that's
We're gonna start our dick pill venture in D&D.
that's what you've discovered in this room. What are your actions, players?
Right, let's get back down. You have a pretty good feel. We've campused the entire facility there, Stumpy, or do we need to check something else out?
fuck it. Let's get out of here. We've done what we came to do.
I like that
Ready to
about you.
go.
Are you
Let's go
heading
load
back
up.
to the boat? Is that where you're headed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So between the travel time around the house and searching the rooms and stuff, it's it's a little afternoon, closing in on 1 o'clock. By the time you get on board and you push the boat out into the water, get the sail, catch the wind. Again, there's a light mist coming down, some cloud cover. Just an overcast, a lightly overcast, midsummer day. And I need give me a navigation vehicle water check. Whoever's piloting the boat.
So that would be intelligence plus proficiency, since I'm proficient in
Absolutely.
water vehicles. Okay.
No, that was a thing.
That's a 12.
Okay, yeah. So it's about with the coastline the way that it is on the way back to Saltmarsh, it's a little further of a distance than the distance that you had traveled over land. Let me just drag you guys here. I believe that's
Right.
so it's a little bit further distance on the boat, and it takes takes about an hour or so to get set off and back. So it's closing in around 2 o'clock, almost 2:30, almost 3 o'clock, as you start pulling into Saltmarsh Bay. And
as we're approaching, having the map that we had come across and looking it over with the captain, who Mr. Bones would be now. Mr. Bones, do you care to do any mapping of the entrance to the bay? Try to get any depths or any type of current markings here on this map, in case we need to make quiet escapes by the break of night?
That's an excellent. We have some daytime left. We might as well do it while we can.
So as we're coming back in, we'd like to map that out.
All right, so that's going to be under activities while traveling and draw a map. No ability check is required here. So essentially, you've been on the sea for quite some time, Valkorian Bones. You've also spent a good amount of time at the sea. So yeah, you guys have a really good idea of the winds that as they come into Saltmarsh Bay. They're prevailing winds from the south to the northwest, which is why Saltmarsh is such a key naval stop off. And it takes very little time once the wind catches the sails for you guys to make your way into Saltmarsh. You map out what appears to be some shoals along the rocky shore there, areas to avoid. And you do, as you're traveling back into Saltmarsh too, you make note of a couple of not tiny but small inlets, sort of secluded coves where the elevation, the seaward elevation is higher than the elevation beyond, and they're sort of protected little inlets along the way that kind of dot the landscape through there.
Very good.
Like I'm just trying to get this in my head. Like the cove itself is hidden from.
Yeah, so it's hidden. It's hidden as you're parallel or perpendicular to it. Obviously, as you round the bend, you can kind of see it curves back in there. You can't really see. I mean, it's clearly not like a deep cut into the land, but there's definitely some hidden alcoves of water and shoreline there.
If we need to take a prize, that looks quite promising there, Mr. Bones.
Yeah, let's keep that in mind.
Yep. So I'll make sure to update your knowledge lists with shoreline east of Saltmarsh. You guys have...
the markings we put on there, is there a way to kind of do thieves' camp in a way that would be harder to discern what we're marking?
You guys could create a cipher on your own at any point if you want to do that offline and just come up with some symbols that mean certain things. Happy to send that to me, and I'll happily update the map with those symbols. Yeah, that's great. Cool. So you guys make your way back to the docks at Saltmarsh, and
how did the dwarf weather the trip?
Not well. I would have probably spent most of my time hiding between the barrels, not looking out at the ocean. inspecting the shield from the dwarf and inspecting the plate mail that I have on, but I haven't really spent time looking at it.
Very good.
Yep. With that time period that you're doing, the plate mail is pretty well crafted. It's got some dings and dents in it, easy to repair. It's still usable at this point, but during a camp one night, you could buff out some of the dings. The shield also pretty well made, and both have the stamp, as I said before, of the well, I didn't say before. The hammer has the stamp of the dwarven anvil on it.
Mhm.
These also have the stamp of the dwarven anvil on them. Definitely a crafter's mark.
Got it.
So yeah, you guys pull into the shipyards. It's a busy moon day in the port of Saltmarsh. Boats are heading out to bay. Some are coming into bay. There's some ships in the docks that are being unloaded. It's a bustling port town to say the least.
Right, we know we need to get back to the Wicker Goat and track down Ministrod and see what we got to do there. As far as these barrels, do you make ups and downs on what this could be, or why do we think that was there? Do we think that Lankus is helping out these ingrates on the outside, or do we think maybe he had a shipment that was ambushed? What do you know, Warren?
Is there anybody I would know in town other than, I'm trying to remember, yeah, Lankus. Is there anybody other than Lankus that I would know that might know about trade going on in town?
Let's think through this. Roll me an intelligence check.
Okay.
Just your D20, add your intelligence modifier to it.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming this is conversation you're having as you're sailing along. We'll adjudicate landing after we go through this.
Fair enough. 15?
Yeah, so you obviously know all the shops in town. There's the Green Market, which is sort of the open air market that happens on most days. Kester's Leather Goods, the weekly market, which is the once a week gathering where there's somewhere between 10 and 20 stalls typically. The Dwarven Anvil, of course, with Jask and Mafara as the proprietors of that shop. You checked that out early on when you came to town because it was called the Dwarven Anvil and you're a dwarf. You did find it odd that it was run by humans, which
wearing dwarf face.
Wearing dwarf face. Definitely frowned upon in the northern areas of the continent. You've got Winston's store. Winston's a halfling of some renown. He's known as his common phrase is "solid goods at honest prices." If TV was a thing, that's what his commercial would sound like.
I already hate him.
That pretty much covers it. You do know that in the Empty Net, which is one of the dockside inns, it's run by a gentleman by the name of sorry, one second, Kreb Schenker, and Kreb, he's got a reputation as a man that can make things appear and disappear. Not people. He's not a man with special skills. He's a person who you might call a fence, so to speak. Right. He knows the buyers and sellers of goods, and his operation is well known. It's not like it's that far underground. The guards and Eleander and the town council kind of look the other way because he's known to be a close associate of Gellin Primewater, who is one of the council members. And so, while they don't believe in piracy, and piracy is frowned upon pretty much across the shoreline, sometimes, you need that special blend of thing that you can't get from anyone except for Krebs contacts.
Yeah. Okay, and I definitely remember, but for the viewers on Twitch, what was the seal on the barrels?
Yes, it was a goat in a wicker basket, which is the same symbol that hangs outside of a sign of the wicker goat and is emblazoned on the side of the ale barrels at the wicker goat, the large ale barrels that he had behind the bar there.
Got it. Can I fill up do I have like a skin of something?
You should have water skins in your inventory. Right. Typically, most characters have at least one, if not two.
So what to answer the question that was asked of me several minutes ago, I'm gonna propose. Well, I don't necessarily think we ought to take this right to, the Wicker Goat and start throwing accusations. We could probably talk to some of the folks in the market and see if they have any idea what might be going on. Have them taste it, see if they can tell anything unique about it before we, take it in and
Well-
start throwing accusations around.
My concern might be that if it's well known that these are missing and we come rolling through with them, plus with the gear that you've got for another business here within Saltmarsh, this may shine an unsavory light on us, especially in light of what's happened to our Captain Ron.
Yes,
Fair
and
point.
no, let's not forget our prisoner that we have too. And also, didn't you say you met somebody in the house and you had business with them at the Wicker Goat?
Yeah, I don't know if he knew much. He didn't seem. Oh wow, accent changed on me. He didn't seem to know much. He was a traveler from another town. He didn't seem to know much about what was going on in the house. Only that there were human men in there, which would have been useful an hour and a half before he told us that.
And
yes.
as you say that, your prisoner goes,
So
You got
I was-
something to say, Carl? No, it's not Carl. What's his name?
We're gonna lean back and then hachoo and slap him across the face. This sea air has really got my allergies up.
man, I thought you sea elves could handle the sea air. Well, while I am not necessarily a proponent of undue violence, and I recognize that by speaking up, the likelihood of me incurring additional wrath or
spit it out, lad.
well,
No. He's painting a good picture. I might get some ideas from it. Continue, son.
you said you found someone on in the house who was alive.
Oh, you want us to take your fingernails off, do you?
Hold on. I will. I'll make sure Valkorian doesn't slap your head off the side of this boat into the water. If you just tell us quickly what you're trying to tell us.
I want to first off, Mr. Turtle. I want to thank you for that. I read the
I'm
tale,
gonna start counting as he's going words.
I said quickly.
the tale of Bluto. I remember well, where a man's head was knocked into the water, and I would rather not. I would rather not encounter such an incident onto myself.
Mr. Bones, can I short circuit this real
Just
quick?
Do it.
And I have to give him another slap.
The man upstairs, he works for us. Damn it.
Well, lads, it could have happened to anyone.
God.
Wait.
damn it, Warren.
Are you some kind of fucking evangelist talking about your God, the man upstairs? Aren't you supposed to work for him and your religions? Don't push your shit on me, boy.
I'm a firm believer of Procan, the god of sea. However, that man upstairs, he worked for us, and he was sent back to us, and I didn't really get a chance to talk to him. There was something going on between him and Sambalat, but I recognized him. I've seen him around before. He hung out in town and was to keep an eye on the maker of the weapons.
By Valkor's piss.
Indeed. Warren, a question for you. What condition was that individual in? Was he lounging or was he not lounging?
In a manner of speaking, you could say he was lounging. He was lounging like I've seen some very odd humans sit in steam. But he was tied up. He was not speaking. He was a little beat up. Yeah, he might have been a prisoner. Yeah, that's uh-oh.
Well, knowing this, we can plan or that we're expected coming back to town, especially coming back to the Wicker Goat. But we do have the advantage that they haven't seen me or you, Valkorian. He's only seen Warren. So maybe
Fair enough. My concern is that if we would have beat feet across land, we would have got here quicker. So there may be something waiting for us as we come into town. I may be paranoid, but
I'm
there
right
may be
there
some
with
poking coming up.
There is also the opportunity, just to point this out, that he might be a turncoat. I did tell him to meet me in town. I think I scared him to where he pissed himself. So, maybe he's turning over a new leaf. And
Now,
maybe
Mr. Warren, a man's mituration habits have nothing to do if he's going to be playing game and be savvy. You catch me?
a or what in?
Yes, it's whenever a person makes water. It's a fancy word. Soft-handed
Makes
individuals
water.
use it all the time.
You mean you all piss water? We piss stone. It's not actually true.
That sounds quite painful,
Kidney
and
stones.
would probably account for the damage in your undercarriage there. I saw as you were changing into that armor.
And my high-pitched voice.
Twitch
All right,
chat is
yeah,
asking
are
for
we in town?
Twitch chat is asking for an intelligence check on word usage. I feel like we have to adhere to what the
Solid.
channel wants. No, yeah. So as you're standing along and you're having this conversation, Maris says, "Water both inside and out is all one water, and in the plane of elements we exist within this water."
Poop.
Yeah, you're not really sure what the words were being used around you, Warren. It's definitely big words. So you guys make your way into the bay of Salt Marsh. You come upon the town that you've all spent some time in so far, and
Is quick question? As we're coming in, I'd be more than happy to roll for it if I need to. But do we see the Albadinga still at the same slip? Has it been impounded and moved to another
roll
area?
roll a perception check, please.
Because I mean, that may be where we would want to make landfall and keep the boat at. Would be at the same dock. That's the 17th, sir.
Yeah, here's the thing. You don't see the Alban Bandinga, and you know that you don't see it because the flag for the Albandinga is a meatball on a red background. It, it's not in harbor any longer.
And I'm gonna look at Mr. Bones. What do you make of this? She's not flying the colors. I'm not seeing her anywhere.
The meatball's gone. I had a feeling this is gonna happen.
So
At this point, we can just assume that it's been impounded, but we won't know until we talk around.
Or maybe our captain left you behind.
There's Captain Ron's in jail. There's no way that asshole's out.
Or then maybe
I
our crew
guarantee
left
it.
you behind.
No, I'll guarantee it. That fucking scruffy-looking guy has. That son of a bitch probably got the crew riled up and fucking took our boat. Has is a son of a bitch.
Captain Ron, he might do that to you, but he would never do that to me.
More like a has-been, am I right?
Ah, you're not kidding around. Always in second place.
I'm his first
Always in
mate.
second place.
You're just a fucking cabin boy. You're jealous.
yeah, no, Nimbus chimes in. The word "has" actually means photo finish in Aquien.
Is that like Japanese? What are you talking about, lad? Oh, wait, which
So
one's-
you guys pull your boat into a small slip here at the end of the docks at the north end, or the eastern side of Salt Marsh.
Okay. I guess we're gonna have to pay for passage so that we can secure our bounty here. Is there, as I'm looking across there, do we see an area for smaller vessels such as this? That wouldn't be the major seagoing vessels, but smaller slips for more personal craft.
Yep, right along here, there's a bunch of tiny, small boats, fishing boats, little pleasure cruisers. It's there's only one or two boats in right now, and Warren says, that he believes that this is the free area of the dock at the north
So
end.
we'll go
Of the
tie
east
up
end.
there, ask the Tritons to compile their notes and watch the area there. Gentlemen, what say the three of us start making our way to get some answers? One, we need to verify where the fuck Captain Ron is. Two, what happened to our ship? Three, what's up with this armor that you're wearing and the gentleman that we found down in the basement? And then 4, 5, what number are we on? Right, anyway, where the fuck all this ale needs to go and how much we're going to get paid for it.
That's a great enough summary. I'd have thought you had written it down, lad.
So-
Warren, Do you go ahead,
No, please continue.
Warren? Do you have any idea? Should we go check for this guy at the Wicker Goat?
I'll tell you what. I like your idea earlier. I'll go with you to the Wicker Goat, but I'll hang out outside, and you holler if there's trouble. He's a naked man, big old goose egg on his head. He might have gotten clothes, but I think it's unlikely. But look for the egg on the head.
And yeah, you can give some physical descriptions. He had East Texas meth head facial hair.
He had East Texas meth head facial hair.
Yep.
Ugh.
6th Street
I thought this was
after 2
this was a
o'clock.
family program.
6th Street after 2 o'clock, hanging out the jackalope head hair. So greasy.
He kind of looked like you. Not you, Billy. Devin specific.
Yes.
I'm
Love you,
feeling
boo-boo.
thirsty. I'm feeling thirsty. Let's get over to the Wicker Goat. Let's see if he's still there.
That's right.
Nimbus chimes up, and Maris is standing there with him. As we were traveling through town, I saw the temple to Prokan. What I think we will do is me and my friend Maris, we will head to the Prokan temple and look through these books that we have discovered, as well as contemplate and meditate our time here. When you are ready to need our help again or go to the next phase where we talk to Manastrad, please come find us. That is where we will be.
So, two things here. One, I don't recall telling you to go fucking pray. And two, I remember telling you, watch the boat until we have a way for us to make sure that this shit doesn't get restolen as it's been repatriated from where it was there before.
We've
So
already
stay
lost
here.
one boat.
Watch this shit, and then we will be back to relieve you momentarily. You've been absent. It's like you were here, and then just out of nowhere, you disappeared on us.
I feel like
You've abandoned
kind of
us.
different too.
We are not used to this concept of having to watch your possessions. Where we come from, people do not take from each other, especially those.
Because you have nothing. I've been there. I was raised there. You have nothing because it's everybody's. But if everybody owns it, nobody owns it. It's why it doesn't work as a form of government.
That's a common misconception of the form of the Triton government. The wealth is had by all.
All right, write your treatsy down, and then we'll be back here. Don't leave this site, right?
I'm gonna lean over to the turtle and be like, Did they say the temple of procreation?
So Nimbus and Maris both take a seat in the boat on the water and begin to rifle through the books and possessions that you guys have taken from the haunted house east of Saltmarsh. You guys make your way through town. I need somebody to roll me a D100, please.
Oh, I've got a cat on me. No, somebody else do it. Oh God.
I do know that.
Inbound.
Let's switch to a D100 and a D10.
92.
So as you're making your way through town, as you
Making our way downtown?
Walking fast faces, passing them homebound.
as you're making your way through the world today, it's taking everything that you got. So you round the corner of a building, and running across in front of Warren is this cat, this orange cat, and Warren is kind of dancing around to some tune that's in his head and doesn't see it. Steps on its tail, and the cat screeches and then bolts around the corner. A small boy across the street yells at you, "Hey man, that was my cat!" And he goes chasing after the animal as it continues to run down the alley.
I'm going to elbow Mr. Bones and say, so it's not just people that he has that effect on.
That's right.
Next time
Pussy runs
somebody's
away
head.
from me. The TOS.
So you guys continue to make your way through the town of Saltmarsh. The time of day, it's 3:30, 4 o'clock. Folks are starting to make their way from the folks that had finished up their catches early. It's not really busy in town. There's a few people wandering about, but it's still peak of the day for work out
Siesta
on the
time.
water.
Yeah.
So folks aren't really in the streets too much. So you make your way to the Wicker Goat, without further issue. What are your actions as you approach the goat?
Bones and I will walk in, try to ID, the general feel in there. Get an idea as if Lankus carries like a large amount of stock that we could see, where a few barrels wouldn't necessarily be missing, or if there's a demonstrated shortage of those barrels as we walk in. And obviously, if Ministrad Steelbreaker's in there, we would want to key in on her.
Yeah, so you guys open the door and make your way into the tavern. Feel free to drag your characters into the tavern for me. In the at the bar, behind the bar, turns around as you open the door is Lankus, of course. Sorry. Welcome back in. Come in again. Welcome to the Wicked Oh, it is you, the sea elf and the turtle. Welcome again. All of my fucking accents are coming out Russian tonight for some reason, because Lankus actually talks with just a regular English accent. But I'm not gonna bemoan it.
That's it's clear to see who pays your bills, sir.
So Lankus is behind the bar. Carl is sitting over at a table, and there is sitting next to Carl is, you see the top of a man's head, and his head is resting on his forearm, and you hear underneath from underneath his arm, kind of resonating off the table, the sound of deep snoring. And Carl will reach over and grab his drink and take a sip, and then move the cup back over and sit there as he sees you.
I'm gonna walk up, put my arm around him, and say, "Oh, let me help you with that." And I'm gonna down the rest of the ale.
As you grab the ale and you begin to down it, Carl looks at you with why did you do that? And he stands up and walks away. Roll me a perception check, Lee.
Will do. $21.
Meter beat. So it's a tie. You notice as Carl stands up, you see what appears to be he's quickly you're impressed by the skill with which he's doing it, but he has in the back of his hand, you can see the rim of a cloth sack here on just the edge of his palm, as he quickly places it inside of his robes, and he begins to make his way towards the bar. Lankus, I'm gonna have me one ale, and then in the same.
Oh, by God, Carl, let me purchase this for you. I want to kind of guide him into the seat there at the bar, to where like I've got my arm around him and I've got weight pushed down on him, so he's gonna have to kind of brace with his elbow and see if I can slide a hand, take the coin purse that he's lifted from this individual out of his sleeve.
Okay, so with the way that you're kind of compelling him, is it would you say it was persuasive or sort of more threatening? How are you doing it? Like
No. Like I definitely I haven't seen you in forever. Please, let me buy you a drink, my friend. And then as he's waiting for it, I'll signal to Lankus for 3 ales. Obviously, you got to take care of the captain. And then I want to really push my weight down on him, so that on the kind of, what do you call those? The armrests on the chair. He's really having to absorb my weight on there, so that I can then come through on his sleeve and see if I can extract that.
Yep. Roll me a d20, please.
What kind of skill?
Let's call it sleight of hand.
Okay. Come on, baby. I used my inspiration point to
reroll that.
Reroll.
Okay.
Marking that off my sheet.
A very loud cough.
Yeah, that's not what.
14.
14. Let me roll his.
Son of a fuck.
So as you hold him down, and you pull the sack out, Carl just looks up at your eyes, and you have not seen him make really a lucid look before at you. He's kind of had this like sort of like scatterbrain kind of personality. And he looks at you and he says, he lowers his volume quite a few octaves, and he says, "I know what you're about. Just leave the sack there, and I don't have to make a scene with Lankus."
Like meets like, I'd be. What the? Good lord, is the chili here out of control?
This is called drinking games. I didn't realize the fart.
Mr. Bones, don't eat the chili here. It's not fit for human consumption.
What the fuck is that smell?
So
Start
yeah,
smelling some shit outdoors when I start walking away.
as
Get out of this.
Oh, no, this man just emptied the chili out the other end.
No.
I'm not thirsty anymore.
No. Oh no.
I don't know what's okay. I don't know what's going. Okay, then. All right, that's a little better. It's like with this, I was trying.
What kind of sick, perverse world do you have us in?
It was supposed to just be like a normal tavern, but it had like farts, retching, and vomiting like turned on as like effects. So my apologies. But Carl looks at you, and as he tries to make that serious sort of look at you, as the pressure that you're pushing down on him. Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to do that. And what?
Perhaps we should get to know the real versions of each other.
Perhaps we should over drinks later.
And Roger. Make sure he's set up, Lunkus. And then, do I see if there's like missing of ales? Because whenever we came in, wasn't there a specific line that was running low the first time that we came through?
He had asked someone to come in and refill one of these. They had talked about, when Monostar was here, they talked about Zenphas's Fairy Fire, and it had been a while since
They
Lankus
received
had
shipment.
received shipment.
Yeah.
The barrels behind the bar, though, these are giant vats that take up about a 5-foot square, so they're pretty big. The brandy barrels that you guys had were kind of like small powder kegs, you know, if you will. Like,
Yeah.
you could hold them in your arms pretty easily. They weren't super heavy, but they were just bulky.
Mr. Bones, how do you want to proceed on this? Do we want to let them know of our cargo?
Hold on. Did we see anybody else in the bar or anything like that? Or
Yeah, there's the sleeping person over the bar. There's a woman. She, looks like she's a fisherman's wife. She's sitting at a table with a guard who appears to be off duty. He's telling some jokes and she's laughing. There's in the corner over here. There is a halfling with some strange-looking guitar, just kind of playing it. It appears like he's practicing, if nothing else.
but we don't see our guy right now?
You see no man wearing skivvies. You see no one that looks like someone getting off of the jackalope to get a best worse on their way home.
Oh goddamn! I was excited.
Fuck, he's not here, and it smells like shit. Valkorian, I'm thinking about it. They sent us there to go look through this haunted house. We could just tell them we found it. Maybe there's a reward in it for us too.
Well, do we want to clue in Warren and the rest of them, or
Yeah, I think we should before we continue further down this route.
as you say, Captain?
To answer the question in chat, what does a fisherman's wife look like? A real catch.
Oh Jesus!
Somebody squid dab. I'm squid dabbing. Hold on. Where's the squid? Oh god, this is not working.
So what are your actions then, players?
I'll go outside and call Warren in, and perhaps we could use a dab of your personality in here, Stumpy. It appears we may have what they're missing. Don't eat the chili.
Well, chili's the best part. That's where I get my door smashing powers from.
Right.
So, is there anybody in here that I recognize that I would have seen around and about, or is it just regulars?
The halfling's name is Bob. He is he frequents the various taverns in town during the evening hours, and he's a bard, but not a bard in the sense of like a profession. He just plays music for coin, and he's okay, would be what you would say. You much prefer like the proper dwarf sounds, like drums, more drums.
Ballsy music.
Yes, Yeah.
Like drums that you play testicles with.
Mostly drums is what you're a fan of, and this is not a drum.
Drum and bass. It's very 90s in the Underdark. Alright. Oh, lads. He's not here, obviously.
You know that we sprawled over there with the loot. Perhaps he's seen somebody come through.
Oh yeah, Bob, isn't he your uncle? I can go ask him.
Right. No, he's tiny.
Well,
He has no gills.
He's not a turtle.
Well, let's just talk to him. So I'm gonna walk up to Bob, be like, Bob, you piece of shit. How are you?
And he stops playing for a second. Cheers, good day, mate. I'm doing well. How are you there, Warren?
I'm doing all right. All right, lad. I got a question for you. I got a friend of mine that's supposed to be meeting me. Is a poor-looking sod, like Carl but poorer. He ran into some trouble outside of town. He's supposed to be in here. Have you heard or seen anything about him coming in here tonight?
He's playing his instrument. Carl, you say his name is. Well, I tell you, lad, I don't.
It's like Carl. He looks as sad as Carl, but worse.
He looks like Carl. No, so far today, the only people that have come in are Kira over there, and Mikkel, the guard, and then you've got Linkus, and Carl. I don't think he ever really leaves here.
Oh, he lives here. All right. Well, thank you, lad. Good luck with the guitar the size of your body.
It's
Walk away.
It's a nice. Oh, he's gone.
Bye forever. Bye forever, lad. So
Not much help.
Linkus walks up to you guys. Cheers. What can I do for you? You fellas need a bite to eat?
Wait, are you toasting us or telling us to sit in a vessel? What was that?
Just saying cheers. Like, would you care for a drink, something to eat?
I love the
Cheers.
chair. Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
Nice to
yes,
sit down.
chairs. I sit in them
We'll
as
sit down.
well. Yeah. So we'll sit down. Mr. Lunkus, how's the stock going? If we wanted to go deep into your retinue of beverages, what kind of variety would you have?
I quite fancy a brandy. What do you have on stock?
Yeah, I'm feeling about the same.
We've been light on brandy. We were expecting a shipment in a few weeks back. Interestingly enough, and he kind of looks up and holds. It was right before Carl showed up in town. We were expecting a shipment. It's been probably, a good month and a half.
Well,
at
that's
least.
interesting that you link when your shipments are coming in by your patrons.
Well,
is that a
Carl-
common practice in innkeeping?
It's a small town. There's only about 5,000 souls in town, and so when new people come to town, I take notice. And Carl, he's been like a rash on my Johnson since he's arrived, and he's harmless for the most part. He entertains people, so I don't kick him out. But it's been a bit. I've got one cask of the brandy left. It's called it. I was trying to hold on to Monastrad. I'm trying to surprise her with it. If it goes long enough, I think I can sell it to her for. And he looks over at Warren. 3 times the normal cost. You won't tell her. I know you two aren't fond of each other.
She can go fuck herself. I'd like some brandy, but I think let me talk with my compatriots. I'll wave you over when I think we're ready. Let's talk about it for a little bit.
And he begins to walk away, and he's like, of note, remember now that the ship's called the Strumpet, and it made a regular stop here in Saltmarsh, and I haven't seen it in a while, and again, I do well with the ales, but I do like when I get the Zymphus in, I can sell it for a pretty penny.
All right, well, I'll tell you what. I'll talk to the guards, and if we hear anything about it, we'll make sure to let you know.
Phil, thank you. Can I get you anything to eat while you wait? We've got our normal fare. We've got the steamed fish, the boiled eggs, the stewed leek, and a few other
The
delicacies. Well, the chili right now, I'll be honest with you. We put whey cheese in with the chili, and I think the cheese is turned.
There's some on the ground behind you if you want some. Oh, God. Jesus.
Almost as if on cue.
That was perfect.
See, and he kind of holds his stomach. I've got to get me some bubbly from the cleric. And he kind of stumbles off into the back room here.
So loud in my ears.
Sorry.
No,
That was a wet one.
I had it turned up very loud.
It was because it's on a 5-fart cycle, and it just happened to be was the the juicy one. So what
cycle.
what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna mention. You think it'd be worth it to maybe describe the guy to your buddy there, Carl Valkorian? Maybe he knows who it is. Sounds like he might be linked to this whole shit. Anyways,
Carl doesn't know anything. He's a drunk.
I don't know. They just had a weird interaction a second ago.
He put his knob on my shoulder earlier. I think that's what he does. He has weird interactions all the time.
And I'm not talking about Valkorian. Valkorian's weird as fuck. I'm talking about Carl.
Oh.
But I guess they're both weird.
What kind of weird interaction? Did you put your knob on his shoulder?
I was just standing
I
behind
think
them.
Lee dropped. He looks frozen.
Oh, he is frozen. Yep.
Yeah.
Mostly because we've been trying to tag him in for like 2 seconds here, and
He hasn't responded. There he goes.
Yeah.
bye. Well, lads, Carl did a weird thing earlier. I don't know what he would do here.
Oh no. Well, I just want to keep it for next week. Are we about to end it?
No, we've still got. We started a little bit late. We still got another half hour, 40 minutes or so.
Oh,
Yeah.
tight. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I want Carl. It seems like Valkorian has a better relationship with Carl, and they seem to say they want to get to know each other over a drink, and he seems to know something about it. So I want to ask Valkorian to go talk to Carl about this.
I'm gonna hear him saying this. I'm gonna interject myself. Be like, look, lad, if you're worried about Carl, I have a way to get information out of him, but it's not cheap.
Oh, how do you? I must have missed this in the beginning. You're friends with Carl too?
Yeah, Carl and I are drinking buddies. We go back months, and I have, on occasion, I have a way of getting things out of people I'm drinking with, if you know what I mean.
Well, then this might be good for you. I think it might be worth it to just at least ask Carl about this guy. If he
Alright.
recognizes him or something, and maybe you'll get something out of it.
Well, if you want to wave him over, we can have that conversation, but it's not going to be cheap because you got to get him drunk, and you got to pay for the drinks that I'm drinking too.
Look, I'm thirsty as fuck. We've been in that whole mansion for 2 days, and I haven't had a drink this whole time.
All right,
Carl, get over here.
on your time, lad.
So Carl comes scurrying up, hearing his name. You summoned me. What can I do to help you today, sir? Good sir.
Carl, well, just, I missed you. I spent a day away from town. There was a lot of things going on. My buddy here, he was interested in talking to you more about, just life. The turtle hasn't met somebody like you. I wondered if you might stay around with us for a little bit.
Exactly. You seem like a very interesting character.
Carl kind of puts his hands out in front of him like he's expecting a goblet or a glass of some sort. I mean, I would gladly have a conversation with you today if my throat wasn't so sore and dry.
Well, I think my turtle friend here will get you just about anything you want, as long as you promise that you will stay here with me until I tell you you can leave.
All right. So with Lankus, you guys summon Lankus over. He comes up, and you exchange some words, and Lankus is like, "Yep, I will keep it flowing." And then for the sake of time, let's just get through some rolls here. So I'm looking for sort of the posture each of you have in this conversation, and then the appropriate role. So, for instance, if Valkorian was like, I want to try to be intimidating, and when he's veering off course, getting back on, tell me your posture through the course of this.
I want to be as friendly as possible.
Okay.
Keying in that I kind of know about him now.
Yeah,
Okay.
Valkorian, did you hear what was going on?
I
Yeah,
chatted
you guys are setting him down to get him liquored up and try to scrub
Yeah.
him for
But I also
I'm drinking out of my tankard sobriety for clarity.
I brought that up because of your previous interaction just a second ago, and we figured
Okay.
he might know something about the character that we were looking for here. If he does have something to do with the people
Or the brandy.
Brandy too. So
So
Okay.
I've got a good understanding of Valkorian's posture. Bones, what is your posture through the course of the conversation as the drinks are flowing?
I'm friendly too because I have little. I don't know Carl that much, and I'm expecting either Warren or Valkorian to get.
I would think that you would pick up. I had pulled the knife on him last time we were in here as he
Yeah,
was
I couldn't
trying
remember
to.
what happened.
He was trying to reach across to grab and wouldn't answer shit, and to go from a much more violent, combative way to all of a sudden, this guy's no longer a threat to me. I would hope you'd pick up on that.
Yeah. Okay. So I picked up on that. And I think I picked up on what you just happened too. Like he was being weird as shit. So I'm just being friendly and I'm suspicious.
Okay.
And I'm looking for any like sort of weirdness in his story.
Okay. So the roles will have Lee. I want you to have a persuasion check. Valkorian, sorry. Bones, give me an insight check. Warren, what is your position during this conversation?
So I'm gonna be a little different since I'm a little familiar with him. And he indicated he was thirsty, and he's one of my only friends in town. I'm gonna be trying to push alcohol in him, and I'm gonna like tease him with the quest Monastrad gave us, and like how easy it was, and how we found nothing in the house, and how it was so boring. We just went in there, somebody yelled at us, and we didn't find anything.
How much? So roll for me on yours. Give me just a persuasion check as well. Then I think is probably appropriate. During the course of that conversation, how you found nothing in the house? How are you sharing any details with him at all?
We'll tell him that there seemed to be some kind of weird. I think I would tell him there's gonna be some kind of weird spell. But basically, we just slept on the first floor. We didn't explore the rest of the house. But that meets what Monastrad said we would do. And so I'm going to get a lot of gold. And so all the drinks are on us because of that.
So instead of this being a persuasion check, let's make that a deception check for you. So you're 16.
Is a 6.
Is it?
Or is it 16? Sorry,
yeah,
is it 16?
What was your insight check, Bones?
13.
And what was your persuasion check, Valkorian?
16.
Okay. So it's 14 point something average, almost 15 average. Bones, you were trying to say something?
I think eventually in the conversation, though, I'd want to bring up I know we want to say we didn't find anything in there, but we do want to say we did find him. Out of everything, we didn't find anything interesting, but we want to see if he knows the guy that you found, Warren, is what I'm thinking.
I think I would probably steer the conversation away from that because what I'm wanting to do is just get him like almost blackout drunk.
Okay, cool.
So
because I can stay completely sober while he's completely drunk.
Got it.
So you're starting to have drinks, Valkorian and Bones. You guys get a few drinks in, and you're starting to feel you've got a buzz going. And you start to slow your pace down. I'm assuming because you don't want to get completely inebriated. Warren though is just pounding him back. For every one that Carl takes, Warren is taking 2, and then Carl seeing this, and Warren puts 2 more glasses out. Carl goes to town with 2 more, then Warren takes 3. It's just is escalating like the scene from Indiana Jones with Indiana Jones and Carla, I think was her name.
It's the Russian girl and the Russian and
Carl is our Russian girl.
No, it is Indiana Jones. My bad.
Yeah, so there's this pile of glasses in front of Carl and Warren, and both of you, with your passive perceptions being what they are, Warren's not trying to be secretive about it. All of he just has 1 mug, and he's just having Lankus fill his mug up over and over and over again, and meanwhile Carl has all these mugs and glasses in front of him, really annoying Lankus because Carl's trying to get a collection to see how many he can drink. Through the course of this, Carl's, telling you guys tales, and he starts out talking about the things that he's hunted and the areas around Saltmarsh, and then, about, an hour and a half, 2 hours into drinking, he starts talking about his time at sea, and he's apparently a sailor of some renown, and then about 3 or 4 hours into drinking, the inn's starting to fill up with people finishing up their days of work, coming in for dinner. He's about 4 hours in, and a number of tankards of ale in. At this point, he starts talking about a specific ship that he was on called the Strumpet. And at one point, he mentions that he sailed on the Strumpet, and Lankus overhears this and says, "You're on the Strumpet? what happened to the ship? And roll with that crawl kind of mums up. He realizes that the look that you see on his face, Valkorian, is that he realizes all of a sudden that he may have said too much, and he just kind of leans over the table and burps real heavily into his
Into my right ear.
into your right ear.
I want to really key in on that. Trying to derive if he's trying to be deceptive or if he's flustered.
Yep, as you start kind of pressing it on it and looking at him, Bones, you recognize that he's said something he doesn't mean to say with your insight check, and you know that he knows more about what happened to the strumpet, and because Lankus is still just kind of standing there. Well, come on now, lad. What? I had good business with the captain of that ship. I had no idea you worked on it. That Xemphasis Fairfire, when I get it, it sells real well.
No, Lankus, what he said, I've fucked a dozen strumpets in here every night since I got in here. He's just being Carl.
Well, he better not be hitting on my customers and running them away. And Lankus kind of, moves back to the bar and starts making more drinks and bringing food out for other patrons in the bar, the tavern.
I once heard of a proprietor of an establishment down the road, or as it were, down the coastline in Seaton, John Taffer, that said that if you could increase the female traffic in your bar, you could increase your profit margins by at least threefold.
And you hear...
He was always yelling, though.
Some table behind you, you hear a laughter from Kira, who you recognize. The fisherman's wife is still there, and she kind of looks over and winks at you. Carl, leaning over his glass still. Look, I don't want any trouble. My ship, the Strumpet, we were accosted at sea. We were set loose on our skiff, and we made landfall.
Who's this we you're talking about? You got a turd in your pocket.
I was part of the crew, and the captain blamed me. I was on watch that night, and Carl likes the fairy fire, and I may or may not have cracked into a cask of it and passed out in the crow's nest. And when I came to, we were on the skiff making shorefall at just east of here, and the captain told me that if I didn't leave camp, he was gonna kill me. And
Mr. Bones, this just isn't right. I mean, an individual who would so brazenly piss all over his brothers and fall asleep on watch. There were no repercussions for this. Why would you?
Surprised you're not swimming with the fishes.
Look at me. I'm wearing these dirty robes. They kept all my money, all of my goods. We had been very successful in what we were doing. I wasn't, a partner in the crew by any means, but we'd been making the run, the Silk and Verifier run for months and months.
Who was your captain?
Captain Smith.
Is he still in town, or did he leave?
Oh, they're in a camp east of here. There's a little cove. It's got some trees, some ruins just off the shore, just to the east.
Would that be any of the places that we saw during our trip back?
You didn't see any ruins along your path, but Carl, the way he's describing it sounds like you saw a number of those along the way. Carl's like, yeah, we further towards Seaton, but still, this whole coast is full of these nooks and crannies, and you've noticed that his sort of Weasley voice has faded, and he's talking normal almost. It seems. If I can get...
Carl, for your own protection, perhaps we should talk about this outside. I'd hate for these denizens within this establishment to meet this other version of you, if you catch my meaning.
It's a really good point. Let's go outside. And he stands up quickly from the table, kind of holds himself, and then leans over, and just like liquid ale spills forth from his guts.
I'm gonna elbow the turtle and be like, "Well, pay the lad," like completely sober, just elbow him, pay the lad, and like walk outdoors really happily with like my mug of ale, just sipping on it.
Lanka says, "Excuse me, lads. That's going to be 2 gold for all the ale you've drank this evening."
How much gold do I have?
It's in your inventory, but according to what you've tracked thus far, you're sitting at 18 gold.
Okay, I flip him the 2 coins.
Okay, decrement 2 off that when you get a chance. He catches it in the air and pockets it. Thank you, lads. And he begins cleaning up all the glassware and clay pots and whatnot that have been lying about the table. You guys are walking Carl outside. He's drunk. He's stumbling, having a hard time standing upright. And as you guys get outside, the sun's down at this point. 8 o'clock. And Carl just kind of collapses under the ground. Just his legs just kind of give out, and he just sits down. Ugh, I can't go any further. I'm gonna sleep
you
here.
may be predicting the future for yourself here if you're not forthcoming with the information we're after.
Look, I don't want any trouble. I'm trying to put together enough scratch so I can get out of this god's forsaken town, get back on the sea.
There's not going to be any trouble, Carl.
Well, that's good. What do you want?
One question for you, and this one shouldn't be a very hard one for you, but recently there was a ship that made berth here within Saltmarsh. Perhaps you have heard of it. It was recently impounded, and I'd like to know the current whereabouts of the Albadinga.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. A 16.
I don't know the Albandinga. Since you guys left a few days ago.
Actually, that's an 18. It's a +6, as I was.
Yeah. I've not heard of that ship. You guys were here a few days ago, right? We met a few days ago, I think it was.
Right.
Yeah.
In that time, I've spent most of it here at the Wicker Goat, and then he points over to this area here, and in my room over there, you might recognize it. It's the bush on the side of the house there, and he leans over again and just retches some more
Perfectly timed.
ale over off the side.
Lads, I wonder if we ought to ask him about the dandy we found in the cave.
Aye.
Agreed.
He leans back up. He's wiping puke off his mouth, but he still has some. He's got these giant like gray chops.
Mutton chops.
Mutton chops. He looks like the weapons master from season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
The gray guy with the mutton chops. So it's puke in that. Dandy. What do you mean? Like a fop?
What was your ship maybe bringing in whenever you came?
I told you inside. Silks and fairy fire. That's what we made the rounds.
Yeah. Right, I was drinking. Sorry, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
How long were you a crew member on the Strumpet, Carl?
Oh, I've been on the Strumpet for, a while. The Strumpet.
And you'd betray your crew by drinking your cargo.
Look,
That's not quite salty of you now, is it?
once you've had the fire of the fairy, you'll understand. It's hard to get away from the allure of it. It's hard to resist.
Quite a few juices emanating from fairies has passed these lips. Worry not, my friend. But what I will tell you is, for your crew to just rob you, displace you of your items, and send you on your way without any other forms of repercussion. I mean, they didn't even take an ear off you. What kind of discipline is on the Strumpet?
Well, the captain is kind of a fat fuck, so Captain Smith is gotten lazy in these years. Early on, we were a merchant ship of some renown. We've made this run. Then we've sort of fell on some hard times, and well, I know where their camp is. I can't get back at them, but
We're gonna pull the map out.
Yeah.
Never mind this scrolling that's on there, but this recently came in my possession. Where on this map would their campsite be?
yep. And he points to a locate. He's like, is that the house there that's on the map? And yeah, that's the house on the mine. Yeah, it's about 10 miles east of there, just along the shore. There's it looks like an M. The cove does, and you can't miss it.
Right.
I
see it there.
He looks on he points at your map.
Mr. Bones, he intimated right here.
Yeah, I see that. I'm. He might be worth talking to. We can figure this whole shit out. Billy, how close are we to the dock right now?
In the city of
where we're docked.
where you're docked, you're on the
side of town.
Yeah, you're on the it's on the southeast side of town, and you're on the northwest side of town.
Oh shit. Okay. I
Yeah.
thought we could maybe introduce him to our prisoner, but I trust him at this point, honestly.
Yeah,
so I
this
don't know.
this is the Wicker Goat here, and then your boat is docked along the shoreline here.
Yeah,
I
the
can
only
carry him, lad, but that's a pretty far walk, and I think somebody might be wondering why I'm carrying a man through town.
Yeah, so I'm gonna turn to my guys and just be like, "What do you guys think?" At this point, I trust him, but I don't know. You know him better than me.
Well, I gotta say, I've never seen this side of Carl, so apparently I fucking don't.
Oh,
And I'm just gonna like spit and like walk away. Not interested.
Mr. Bones, where are we going to find lodging? Shall we inquire about a room and perhaps lay Carl up in there so that we might be able to bring our prisoner up and question their here? We need to still resolve and offload that cargo in the most profitable and expeditious way possible as well.
agreed.
Just
And
some
I want to be
thoughts.
close to it. I don't want to sleep on the other side of town if we got that. And I'm also drunk as a fucking horny toad right now, so we
You
better
make it look good, sir.
The good timing on the background laughing there. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, let's find a place to put him up, and maybe we can get some shut eye too.
Lads, he said his bedroom's right there. Just drop him in the fucking bush.
No,
That's not how you treat a fellow salt, my friend.
Yeah,
It's
I
still
think we
assault.
might introduce him to our little friend.
You were mad about him
Uh,
not doing stuff on boats.
Carl,
You should see what I do to people that I like.
Carl leans up and he says that the Wicker Goat's got some rooms. There's a real nice one upstairs. I've absconded some goods from before.
In my best drunk Samuel L. Jackson in a dwarf accent. I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing. Anyway, somebody else do something.
So I'll take him in and get a room for Mr. Bones and I
Cool.
for the evening.
Yep, that's going to be for an evening for, do you want a 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, or there's the common bunk area?
Common bunk area for Carl, and then we'll take a separate room.
Okay, that'll be 1 gold and 1 silver.
Is there a Smith's Guild in town? Like any part of the Dwarven Smith's Guild?
There's
They're outside of town, right?
the mine is outside of town, but there is within town, the town of Saltmarsh, there is, a dwarven area that the dwarves kind of hang out at.
I don't know if this is how it would work. Like, could I just go there and like plan to spend the night in that? Like, could we like fast travel through whatever happens there? But like, I would go there, drink there for a little bit, and then sleep there.
Well, so
Kind
it's the mining company headquarters. You know, that's where Monastrad, you know, it's where her rooms are.
Oh no, never mind. Fuck that. I'm sleeping here.
Okay. So, all right, you're gonna grab a room too.
Yeah, I don't need a bed. I'm a turtle. Sleep on the fucking ground or whatever.
Right. That's why I'll take the bed.
So you guys get your rooms, and about midnight, in the room that you two are staying in, Bones and Valkorian, you hear, um, hello, are you in there? You Bones, Valkorian, hello.
I'm
Not
gonna
gonna
stumble
answer.
up. I'm gonna stumble up and be like, "Oh God, it's the fucking fish."
And you open the door, and it's Maris and Nimbus. They're just they're kind of looking sullen, as two Tritons can look. We waited by the boat all night, and you never came back. We brought the man in the rope. Both shot and pissed himself. We dipped him in the water as we do with the other Triton babies, but he still seems not okay.
Ah, perfect. This is exactly what we needed. Valkorian, wake the fuck up.
Yes, I am here, and there you are. Hey, did I not tell you two tusk putts to sit there on the boat and keep it company?
We
Tusk.
we did, but it's not the moons are out, and we would like to get some sleep. And
It doesn't matter at the moment. We got better. They brought the prisoner. We can show him to Carl. We can see if they know each other.
Are they making enough noise that I would have woken up, given that they're all drunk?
they're making enough noise that everyone on the floor has kind of woken up, and at the end
Hey, motherfuckers! I'm trying to sleep.
of
Just fucking.
at the end of the hallway, there's a door opens up, and you can see a tiny little, like, there's a staircase that descends behind it, and Lanka says, I'm going to have to ask you lads to be a little bit more quiet. We've got guests sleeping. I've charged the Tritons a gold so they can come and get the room. This man who's trussed up, they say you're taking him to Aleander in the morning. That's fine, but just for the sake of Procon, be quiet.
Okay.
All right, boys, bed down.
Everyone, quiet
Hey,
the fuck
Warren.
down.
I think you need to have a parlay with the captain here and decide what we're going to be doing with them brandy barrels. We're going to bring that up to our proprietor here, or are we going to keep that under the boat?
Given that they are likely stolen goods, I think it may not be the profitable thing to do, but I think it's the right thing to do. To bring that to the guard before we just give it to the innkeep. They may want to do an investigation. Ileana is an honorable man. I trust he'll do the right thing. We need to bring it to him first.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with him. I don't want to give this just to the guards first. They all know they sent us there. It's not like, they would be in on it too.
Oh, I'm not giving it to Monastrad. No, Monastrad can fuck off. The guards here in town, Ileana specifically, is honorable.
Okay. So Bones is gonna walk over to Carl, wake him up, shake him a little bit.
Yeah. So as you shake him, you kind of jostle him around, and there's definitely some different odors and gases as he's being moved about, and he expels more liquid onto the side of the floor.
Watch yourself. It's a den of illness in here. Not fit. Not one bit.
Come sleep on the wall. I'm just sleeping, leaning on the wall. I don't want to touch the floor.
Carl's not waking up. He is out for the count.
Okay. Well, then I guess we just leave him there in the morning. So that's all I want to do is introduce them to each other. But
I'm going to go across town and do a trance since I don't really sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Do one out on the dinghy.
Yeah. When you get out there, you notice that the Tritons had covered up the barrels with a tarp that had been stowed on well, not the tarp, sorry, the sail. They took the sail down, and they have the sail folded up over the barrels. It's not the greatest hiding job because there's still a mound of barrel-shaped objects underneath a piece of canvas, but it's definitely covered up. And so you spend the evening out on the water
Right.
as Hala, the moon is 3/4, begins to go down and set. I'm assuming everyone else is going to bed in the room of the wicker goat as well.
I'm gonna be in my shell at the door.
Okay.
Staying guard.
Yep.
I'm sleeping in a bed like a normal person.
And the prisoners with the tritons in their room?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. So it's the next morning, the next day. It's Tower Day, the 2nd of Pale Sun. The sun comes up off in the horizon to the east of Valkoran. Beautiful sight. Watching the sunrise over the water is one of the things that it brings you peace. It's one of the few things in life that couldn't be taken away from you. And
Right.
you spent many a night in the crow's nest just watching and waiting for the sun to come up because in the light, what's happened in the dark doesn't feel as heavy to you.
With the morning light coming in, I want to pull up the cipher
Yes.
and start looking it over. I recognize some of these letters, but certainly not all of them, and I just want to spend some time with it to see if I can fill in what I do and don't know on there.
Yeah, so if you could hold up the piece of paper to your camera so that your friends can see it, great. So what you recognize on that is the first character. You recognize the characters. It's Procan's code, and you recognize the characters, the 3 letters S, E, and A for C. So
Yeah.
you recognize those three letters, and you know that the first letter of the first word is an S. The second letter of the first word is an A, and the 4th letter is an E. And with that, you're able to also assess that the second and third letter of the second word are an E and an S, and the 2 letters in the middle of the 4th word are E and A. And for the sake of folks that are following along at home, I will post a quick picture up in the chat channel so that folks can see that, and our friends can see that as well. I think I can post that. Yep. So with that, what other actions are you taking?
Just want to see if I can discern any others. Spend some time with it. Common nautical phrases.
Yep.
If there's anything that Valkorian would, be able to intuit from the letters that I know.
Yep. So roll me give me just a general intelligence check, and you can add your proficiency bonus because we'll say it has something to do with your water vehicle proficiency.
An 8.
You didn't really do a lot of the signaling in the crow's nest, so you can make out one more character, and you know that the first letter of the last word is an R.
Okay.
So at this point, what you folks are seeing and understanding is where there's an underscore, you don't know what the letter is, and then you don't know either of those are. So that's what you see on this, what you've able to decipher on the slip of paper with the codes on it.
Okay.
Okay. Gentlemen, Bones and Warren, as the sun has come up after your night of sleeping in the Wicker Goat, what are your actions?
I'm gonna yawn and make a really loud noise because I slept really well because I didn't drink at all.
Thank
I'm
you,
gonna-
Zoom, for cutting that out. Bones?
That's gonna wake me up, and I'm gonna get out of my shell like that,
Yep.
Be up
out.
on all fours, pop out.
Yeah.
It's
the turtle version of that when you're laying and they kick themselves up. What's that move called when you
Kipping.
Kipping.
Yeah.
It's the turtle version of kipping.
Don't Urban Dictionary that, watchers at home.
And that when you're out of your shell, what actions are you guys taking now? It's Tower Day. It's the 2nd. It's Tuesday.
So I'm gonna go into the room with the God. I can't remember the French fish's name.
Maris and Nimbus.
Maris and Nimbus. I'm gonna go in there with the prisoners and Carl,
and just see what the reaction is. See if they recognize each other, if there's anything there.
Carl says, I don't know this man. And the guy that's bound says, well, I don't know him either.
Cool. Perfect.
I mean, I will convey an intent by doing it right now. Lads, here's a few things I think we need to do today. We need to take a prisoner to the guards because I don't care about him anymore. He belongs there. He's clearly broken the law. We need to do that. Carl, you slept inside. Just be thankful.
It felt real nice too. Thank you for that.
Yeah, well, thank Nimbus for what felt nice. And then I intend to go and see what is going on at this smithy. They put all right stuff, but there's something going on to this dead dwarf, and I have to find out what's going on there.
Okay, so what we'll do if we can sort of set up what actions you all are taking through the course of this day, and then we'll talk through those. So just to lay out what I heard from Warren, Warren's going to take the prisoner to Eleander at the tower to turn him in.
I'm also going to ask him if he can train me to better use the sword we found or my axe.
Okay, great. And that's your and then at some point you want to pop by the Dwarven Anvil and talk to Jask and Mafara.
I want to suggest to Warren though before he does take the prisoner there.
Sorry, Billy.
No, you're fine.
Sorry. No. So did you want to talk to the tavern keep the owner about the barrels first before we told the guards? Because
No.
if you just wanted to bring it to the guards, you might want to bring that up while you had the prisoner so that he can verify.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
everything.
good point. Good point. I'm going to tell Eliana that we found some goods that appear to have been stolen from a ship that has gone missing.
Mm-hmm.
Great point. I'm going to do that as well.
Okay. Bones, then, as Warren describes what he's going to be doing, what would be your actions for the day?
Currently, I think I'm going to go to the prison, and I'm going to grab Valkorian, see what the hell he's been doing all morning, and then try to take him probably to the prison to see if Captain Ron, or if there's been any updates in the Captain Ron ongoings.
Okay. You guys are going to go there. Okay.
Unless
I would assume at first light, we're wanting to see what happened to our captain and what happened to our ship.
Okay. Nimbus and Maris share, what they shared the night before, that they want to spend some time going over the book of Zonal that they found, and reading through it and doing some research, as well as checking in with the local cleric in town to see, what he might be able to help them meditate on or whatever. And that's what they're saying that they're going to be doing.
And I'm going to propose we all meet back up at like 5 p.m. because we need to confront Monastrad as well.
Yep, and you know that she tends to on Tower Day, she'll go back to the mining headquarters. She doesn't normally hit the tavern until Wine Day, which is the next evening. Other than that, she's working Mondays and Tuesdays. She goes for wine on Wine Day.
How far away is that? The camp?
It's in town. It's not very far. It's just
Okay.
on the east end.
So
of
we'll
town.
meet at the Wicker Goat and then we'll walk there. Is
Okay.
my proposed plan.
Okay, so we can do a couple of things real quick then. So when you get to the barracks and the jail, Bones and Valkorian, you run into a gentleman that's standing outside the jail, kind of leaned up against the wall. He's wearing clearly, the man has seen some fights. He has cropped, wavy red hair and blue eyes, rough chocolate skin. He stands about, almost 6 foot tall, athletic build, and oblong face, unremarkable with a medium beard. And as you walk up, he has it's a long stick with a circular spherical ball on the end of it, and he has it leaned over his shoulder. And he's like, "G'day, mates. What can Craddock do for you?"
Right. We are coming to inquire on a prisoner of yours unlawfully incarcerated, a Captain Ron.
Oh, yeah. He stayed a bit overnight, night before last he was here. was released first thing in the morning, right before sunup, by Eliander himself. Said there weren't enough evidence to keep him in, and he quick locked me down to the docks, and I ain't seen him since. Yeah, we got a couple of drunkards in here as well, but outside of that, Captain Ron ain't here no more.
I can't believe that. What an asshole.
That son of a bitch. I guarantee has had something to do with this.
I knew it.
I reckon you can talk to Eliander down over at he's cracking down on the Who Watch Tower. Head down there and have a chat with him.
Right. Well, you take care of yourself then, son.
Yeah, you that's a nice cut of your hat there. I really like it. And you, Tortle, you carry yourself real good.
Okay. Let's go, Valkorian.
You too. It seems like you know your way around a fight. If you ever want to get a little bit of a knuckle dust, you let me know. Craddock spent some time in the arenas up north, and yeah, I like a good fight.
So, do you do anything with pokey instruments, or are you just playing handsies?
I'm more of a fan of the sticks and balls, if you know what I mean.
Are you coming on to me, sir?
I tend to do that after the fight. But yeah, if you ever want to knuckle dust, come down on get off around 6.
I'm so pissed. I might take him up on it. Let's Valkorian. I have a mind to cut that Captain Ron right in half when I see him.
I'll tell you what, we could give him a Cincinnati necktie right quick.
Oh, I fought a man from Cincinnati once. Yeah, he was a real Bengal, he was.
Right. That's a stripe of a different color right there. Mr. Bones, shall we continue, sir?
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to fight this red-headed fairy man right now, but I am pissed enough to do it.
Well, no, like I'm saying, let's go take care of our business so you can come right and dust this individual. I would love to see it.
Yeah.
That would make me feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, go get some of your friends. I want your beating to be in front of an audience, right?
Oh, you got a good mouth on you, you do. I like the both of you. All right then, you Turtle, you look like my kind of fella. I'll see you soon, won't I? And,
yes, you will.
He flexes his muscles and they kind of ripple up his whole arm.
You realize he's got a fucking shell. Quit flexing nuts, son.
Oh, you know what this thing's good for? Shell smashing, eh?
That was a decent comeback. Probably a 4 out of 10.
I feel like
A
that's
2 out of 5 if we reduce to lowest terms.
I feel like that's a hard number. I'm just a simple soldier.
Right. You'll be drinking from a straw here once my boy here is done with you.
You're a real annoying pain in the ass right now. Valkorian, can we just go?
Yeah, right. So we're on our way.
As you two start walking away, he's like, "Oh, I thought that I'll be a right pain in your ass, won't I?"
Shut the fuck up.
So you guys make your way across town over to the Who Watch Tower, which is actually on the map. It's on the just east of the Wicker Goat, real close to the Wicker Goat. So you get over there, and as you get there, they had just finally gotten the prisoner. Warren had just finally got the prisoner. Good enough to walk, and made his. You see him sort of walking up to the tower, holding the prisoner in his one arm. And as you guys approach, it's a 60-foot tall tower, and you know it, Warren, is the armory and the official guard tower. It's where the guards are based out of and stuff. And as you guys are approaching along the road, you see coming out of he closes the door and he turns around and looks at you and kind of stops in his tracks for a second. And it's Eliander. I thought I told you to find work. Manistrad said you were looking into the house. Have you ever turned?
Right, so we've been quite the enterprising group of individuals here the past couple days. Warren, you care to brief him on your little Girl Scout there?
Yeah, so like I was telling you, Eliander, we found some ne'er-do-wells up in, the house, and I was they had some business to take care of. But the plan is to go and talk to Monastrad now. Uh, you know, like I said, we found this man. We found some goods I'm worried might have been stolen. And that's why we're here.
Uh, well, that's very interesting. As you recount the full tale of, I'm assuming you're
Yeah.
gonna tell him everything.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell him. I'm not gonna tell him everything, but I'm gonna lay out. We were sent there to investigate the house. We found a guy who admitted to partaking in piracy. Not everything about like how everything is set up at the house or anything like that.
Okay.
Just that he was a pirate, and we captured him.
Oh, this is disturbing. You know how we feel about piracy. I will take him to the council, and we will interrogate him more. You two, and he points at Bones and Valkorian. You, I've got nothing against you. Your captain, we didn't have enough evidence to keep him, and he set sail very quickly after we released him. I would ask that you just don't cause trouble, but thank you for bringing this one to us. I will deal with it.
Warren
was our
looks smug,
captain-
but he doesn't say anything.
One more time?
Warren looks smug, but he doesn't say anything.
Love you, princess. Okay, Valkorian and Bones.
Was our captain exiled from the city, or did he leave us of his own accord?
I've asked that he not return to Saltmarsh simply because the magistrate did have a warrant. I felt that there wasn't enough evidence to warrant the warrant.
I'm gonna look around confused. Just say my name.
And
So,
had
What
to-
of the ship? You didn't find anything on the ship. Everything was great, tip top.
Shouldn't you know that one?
make an insight check.
Oh, that was gonna
20.
be a third. Oh, there you go.
He says, no, there was nothing on the ship. He is lying through his fucking teeth to you. So I will take this one to the jail, and we will interrogate him. If
Do
you'd
I
like,
pick up on Bones' reaction to this?
Bones, how are you giving any clue or signal to Valkorian? He's lying to you. You know this, and he's like suddenly trying to take the prisoner away.
My total reactions are not like human reactions. I think Lee can pick up on it, or not Lee, but Valkorian knows. Like when I raise my teeth the way that I did slightly, that it means that I'm noticing something, that everything's not correct.
Well, I would appreciate, sir, if you would give the proper due respect to a titled man such as Captain Bones of the Tindy's Call, which is currently in the public slip number 4.
I was unaware that you were a captain. As a man who served in the Royal Army myself, I respect those of martial prowess. Good day to you both. I will attend to business now. Thank you for returning him. After I've met with the town council, we will discuss if there is any sort of warrant for his arrest and reward. And if you will, check back in with me on the morrow. The town council is set to meet on Wine Day in the morning. So if you were to find me, I will be back here at the Hull Watch Tower midday tomorrow.
Did you
So,
say if there was a warrant for his arrest? Sorry, dumb joke.
I feel like you're forcing this.
So, we're clear then to return the labeled property back to its owners.
What are you speaking of the casks of brandy?
No. Yeah, we may or may not have found pirated goods, and we were wondering what to do with them.
I'm not. No one has come to town claiming goods were stolen. Therefore, there's no witness. If no one makes claim to these goods, they are yours to do with as you see fit. Those are the laws of the land.
Oh, yes, of the great philosophizer of law, Finderus Keeperus.
Yes, and his alkalite Sticks and Stonesis.
Yes, indeed.
But I think that book was written by the great Dave Chappellis. Anyway.
At first release, people weren't a fan. Nonetheless, so Eleander, well, with that, I bid you good day. I will deal with this. And he says in Dwarven, thank you, to you, Warren, in Dwarven.
Vorofalkaros.
He says
All
Volafalkaros.
right, none of that pig Latin, boys.
And he makes his way. I wouldn't say through you, but he's definitely not weaving around you guys with much clearance as he makes his way past towards the jail, tugging on the prisoner.
Well, I never.
And so with that, I think unless you guys have any last minute actions you want to do in response to that.
Yeah, I want to spin before Carl gets too fucked up.
Yeah.
I want to sit him down, get the reallys, since I kind of understand some of the shit that he's up to, and really, get a feel for how he's able to pop in and out of conversations and move through a room so quickly as he does. I'd like to talk to him about that.
Yeah, you're able to you share with your compatriots what you're doing, and you find Carl retching in the bushes where his house is, and you can see
good man.
behind this shed outside the Wicker Goat. There's a row of hedges, sort of a semicircle row of hedges, and there's a bed mat and a pile of hay and soft earth as a pillow, and Carl's just kind of sitting there with his arms on his knees, his head in between his legs, not feeling very good. And when you approach, Carl, shares retellings of, again, the stuff that he told last night. And Carl is a rogue of some skill, and you are impressed by his knowledge of the skullduggerous arts. And Carl says that for a stipend, if you were to buy him a room, pay for him for a room for a week, he would train you in what he knows of being stealthy.
Very good.
Oh, did I ask Ellie? Oh, I was planning to do that, but I didn't actually ask him.
You started to ask it, and we can certainly, because we're sort of in a downtime period.
We'll deal with that later, yeah.
Yeah, so when we come back next week, we can talk about downtime activities and
Okay.
interactions. From a timeline perspective, you know that the magistrate is still set to arrive in 2 days' time, so he'll be arriving on Tower Day or Thursday, because it was 4 days from Saints Day. So he'll be arriving on Tower Day, which is 2 days. Tomorrow, Wine Day, Wednesday, the town council will have met with Eleander and the prisoner, and he'll want to talk to you then. So you'll have today to do with as you please, to the day of Tuesday, and then we'll have an interaction with Eleander and the council on Wednesday, and then we'll figure out what you guys want to do there. So with that, we did start a little bit late, so we ran over a little bit later tonight. Let's just recap what happened. The party continued clearing out the haunted house, checked the last remaining rooms. They policed up all the barrels of brandy and silks and loot that they had found, put it on a small sailing ship that they discovered, brought their prisoner along, sailed along the shore back to Saltmarsh, saw some interesting shore features that could lead to potential enterprises for them in the future. We'll update their map. When they arrived in town, they spent some time at the Wicker Goat, really got Carl drunk, and had him spill the beans about the strumpet. Carl and your prisoner, who no one still asked him his name yet, don't know each other, and that appeared to be true. Captain Ron appears to have been released after they found no evidence. However, in your discussions with Eleander when turning over the prisoner, he was clearly lying to Bones about there not being, quote-unquote, anything on the ship. And he then took the prisoner and said he would meet with you all midday the following day after discussing the prisoner and interrogating the prisoner and discussing with the council. And that's where we're going to end our session. We will be back next Monday at 8:30 Central with a full cast. Maris and Nimbus and their actual French accents will be returning.
Sweet.
I will. If you guys could see my notes and all the different characters and accents that I have listed, and how everything ends up just kind of mushing together and sounding the same, I'm disappointed, but I'm working on it. But nonetheless, we'll be back next Monday. Appreciate those that came out to chat. Lemony B and Strider, thanks for sticking with us and chatting up with us. Appreciate the laughs throughout. And to Aaron, Devin, and Lee, thank you for carrying the game short cast tonight. You guys did a great job. All right, Ramshackle Production, we are out. Thanks, guys.
Bye bye.